Okay, I tell you what, I'm very disappointed for our players, our fans, people that support us. I mean, we just, we got beat on the field in a manner that I thought that we wouldn't. And, North Carolina brought it to us. My hat's off to them. We got to play much better. There's no doubt about that. Opportunities that slipped away were evident tonight. But, not going to tuck our heads, not going to turn tail. That's my team, and I got to coach them up. And that's, there's nobody else to go to. We've got to do a better job coaching from all aspects, of playing the game. So, again, I apologize to our fans and our people that come and support us. That wasn't a very good showing, and that rests with me. I got to get the team prepared better in order to play and be representative of a team that I think we can be. So, we just pick up and move on from there. And tomorrow's another day, and we look forward to getting ready to play another game, another home game.
Mike, what is the effect of the first play of the game on a team that's a little bit down coming in and needs something positive to happen?
Well, I don't know if we're not down coming in, Jeff. I think the effect of a play that turns into, when you have a missed tackle a la Florida State and turns into a long touchdown run, it's one of those, it takes the wind out of your sail a little bit. But you know what? Things happen in the game like that. And your ability to respond back to that, is something that you find out what your team is made of. And, and I thought that, we had an opportunity to respond back, after a play like that. And then later on, number 17, who's their number one receiver, ran a vertical route on a coverage that we practice all the time. We've been doing it since spring, and for whatever reason, we didn't play it correctly. So he got another big throw there. So it's frustrating, and you can, like I said, you can point fingers here and there and stuff like that. But it all starts. It's my responsibility to make sure these guys do what they're supposed to do and then execute. So that's a hurting locker room in there. And we should be, because we got beat by a very good team. But we got to be able to respond back. We can tuck our heads and talk about the if I coulda, woulda, shouldas, and all those things like that. We got to do a better job. Third down, we can't get down in the red zone and not come away with touchdowns. We can't throw 5 interceptions. If I had a chance to go for the fourth downs again, I would do it again, because I want to send a message to this team that we're only going to be as good as we raise the level of our competition and play with a sense of urgency that I think when you become a good team, or good teams do. And we're not there yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
What are your thoughts on Mark's performance?
I'm disappointed in the fact that there's 3 interceptions, and down in the red zone, and two opportunities to score touchdowns. And it's you never want to get down there and come away empty-handed like that. At least get 3 points, something. So, he's got to do better. Your fifth-year quarterback has got to do better. But we got to do a lot of things better. And I'm sure that he's not satisfied with his performance also. It's indicative of the scoreboard and the stats and all those things that that come into play. So, but like I said, we got to do a better job doing things that Mark can do and make him highly successful or make him highly efficient. And so that's on us.
Why does he remain your starter?
Without seeing the tape again and just kind of going over the things, particularly if it was a route issue or a protection issue, then Mark's the quarterback right now. I mean, but every player is and will be evaluated, based on their performance, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And so we'll see how at the end of the day tomorrow, where things are with that. But I would go into this thing saying that he is until otherwise.
Would that be a little tougher call if the other guys hadn't also both thrown end zone interceptions?
Probably, but as I said, the managing of the game is not just what you see with the throws. It's handling the football once you get the snap from center. It's getting the players lined up correctly with formations. It's it's making the correct reads on your throws. So you can see things out there on the field by just watching, but then when you get in the film room and you watch about hey, we should have been in this formation, or, you're having problems with the center snap quarterback exchange, or little things like that where you also judge and evaluate the player on till you have a chance to watch tape and evaluate them from all aspects. Then you can make a determination.
What went into determining how much playing time Rocco and Matheny got in replacement of Mark?
Well, I mean, at that point, after Ross had went in earlier, and then the second opportunity through the interception, and I'd always talked about trying to get opportunities, for those guys, those other two guys to go in the game, so you can make a distinction of how to evaluate them when they have to play, against an opponent, make the calls, get lined up, and things like that. So I believe they probably had the same amount of possession or opportunities to start first and 10s, with both of them. And so we'll look at it, see how they did, and try to find out, who can move the team and who can get us in position to make those makeable third downs, those opportunities to score points. All the things that a quarterback has to do.
What was the situation with Ross-I this week?
Ross-I, I think he dinged his knee up a little bit on Tuesday's practice, and just wasn't feeling 100% right now, and so we'll see what his situation is like. This game is a tough game. It's a physical game, and you lose players with injuries and things that happen during the course of the season. He's just got the next guy up mentality has to step up and be able to provide an opportunity for you. But Ross-I was down today's game. We'll see how he responds and what happens here in the next couple of days.
Mike, you kept the team out on the field and talked to them, which I don't think you do after every game. Can you share anything about what you told them and what you were thinking with that?
Well, I wanted them to feel what it feels like to get beat like we did on your homecoming with the other team, fans cheering them on, and to never, ever, ever forget that feeling. To never forget a feeling when somebody else comes in your house and hand it to you like they did. We're going to win around here. And I told them we're going to win around here because the attitude that what may have been and things like that was then and this is now. And this is a learning process for us. But the mindset of the team that I'm going to coach is not going to forget something like that and use it as an opportunity, to get better. I got to coach better. Players got to play better. All those type of things. So I didn't want them to forget that, and just wanted to make a point in that regard.
Coach, how much more difficult has it become to keep that positive attitude in the locker room? Just take a little bit longer to build it back up after a loss or
Mark, you're talking to a guy 9 years ago, and the doctor said me giving my bone marrow to my daughter was 10,000 to 1 odds. I'm going to remain positive. I'm going to stay a positive guy. Because if things like that can happen, then there's no else for me to. That's my team that's in the locker room right there, right? You don't go to the waiver wires. You don't do things to try to replace them. You got to take the guys that you have and coach them up to believe in themselves and try to find ways to do things to help them win. And that's my job, and that's what I have to do. I got to do a better job of doing that. But we're good. Like I said, my vision of this program, of this team, is to have guys that believe in themselves and can play after play. And when bad things happen, then that happens. It's how you respond to those things that I think are the most important. So we got to respond better. I mean, adversity is going to happen in a lot of things. It happens in life, but it's how you choose to respond to those things that makes a difference.
I think Virginia beat Carolina 14 straight times here. Obviously, you didn't talk about it much before the game, but I assume that losing the fashion you did makes that even worse.
Well, the streak is whatever the streak is, and as I appreciate the fact that the historical significance behind it, but this is a new team. This is a new opportunity, new player. I mean, different players, but it's a team that the significance was coming in and playing well. Not the history behind how many games we'd won at home and things like that. That's important. But when you're playing a game, each game that you approach, you play it to make sure that you have an opportunity to compete and win. And they did a great job of executing their offense. T.J. Yates is a very good quarterback. They have good skilled players. They did a better job than we did, and that's the way it is. So we're moving on now to an opportunity to have another home game next week and get prepared and get better from what we did this week.
We have Keith Payne, Ode Abushi, and Ross Matheny back in the right. Let's talk to players now.
Coach, are you feeling all right? About 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, and as the trainer came over and checked on you.
I'm fine, thank you.
What's the extent of Inman's ankle injury?
I won't know until he goes in. He checks in tomorrow with the trainer. You know, little Gimpy's been, he's got one ankle heel bruise, and he's got an ankle sprain. So, again, it's part of playing. When you don't have a guy, your skill position player that's 100%, it makes it tough. But he's a tough kid. He tried to go and just wasn't. Your wheels, your feet are the things that make you go when you're a wide receiver. And if you're not feeling 100% on that, then it limits you a little bit. So he was limited.
Seemed like third down and long. They got a couple throws that just kept extra drives alive. What do you have to do to make those big plays?
Yeah, well, you got to get on tighter. You got to have tighter coverage. You got to have your rush lane set so the quarterback doesn't scramble outside. You got to make sure that when they run a crossing route that you make a tackle on that. So. Fundamental things, and not scheme or systems, fundamental things, individual efforts, having to hone in on that. So we'll do better.
Was there more zone coverage than usual in the pass game tonight? Is that a matchup or something?
I don't know. I'll know later on. Coach Shoup, their offensive coordinator, does a great job with moving formations and motions and shifts and things like that. So if you were a man team, then it causes you some issues because now with the shifts and motions, you'd have to make some calls. So if you stay zone, then they're good at running high-low pattern combinations, just good at attacking what you're doing. And he's done a great job with that offense, for a while. And T.J. Yates has been very efficient and productive, in throwing the ball.
Mike, are the interceptions any more frustrating because of the fact that you were able to move the ball otherwise and you got a lot of first downs? Or is that encouraging, or does it make it worse?
Any turnover is discouraging. You can't whether it's fumbles or interceptions or whatever it may be. 5 interceptions mean they had 5 more possessions and we gave up those possessions, which means they have more opportunities to score points. So it's never, you can move the ball up and down the field, and when you have turnovers like that, then it keeps you out of the end zone, or you can't score in the red zone, then it does you no good. So we got to do better. Throw the ball away. Throw it into the ground. It's just like you don't want a quarterback to take a sack in certain situations. So like I said, it's we got to regroup and make sure that our guys have an opportunity to have some success on some of these plays.